Law school is different than undergrad. The classes are different, the teaching style is different, the testing style is different, and grades are allocated differently. So you can't expect to use the exact same strategies that you used in undergrad to succeed in law school. Instead, you want to adapt new strategies that will help you to do your best in this new learning environment. And that's what we're going to teach you in this course. So what we're going to do is go through the 6 main differences between law school and undergrad, and we're going to tell you how this law school prep course will help you meet these challenges head on. So let's start with the first difference, which is the classes. The classes are obviously going to be different in law school. You'll have some core substantive law school classes. Generally, you'll have about 3 to 4 of these per semester. These include classes like contracts, real property, criminal law, civil procedure, torts, and constitutional law. And you'll also most likely have a legal writing and research class. A lot of students find this is the most useful class to them when they get out and practice. And this is sometimes given for a letter grade like A, B, C, or D, and sometimes it's just given as a pass-fail class. So be aware of how that is graded. We will give you an overview of each of these classes so that you know what you're in for. At the end of each module, we will cover a different class. So we'll cover real property, torts, civ pro, con law, crim law, contracts, so that you have an idea of the overall structure of the class. You'll have an idea of the vocabulary that you should know, and you'll have these great law school one-sheets to use throughout the semester once you start law school. We also have a module specifically devoted to legal writing and research so that you have an idea of how to approach that class and you don't feel lost. Instead, I want you to have a good strategy going into law school so you feel confident all around with all of your substantive law school classes. Next difference, the vast majority of assignments come from casebooks, not textbooks. So in college, you might have been used to having textbooks, which neatly lay out the material that you need to know. In law school, unfortunately, there are no textbooks. Instead, there are casebooks, and you'll be assigned a lot of case reading every single night. And the cases are just legal opinions written by judges. Sometimes they are in there because they're new law. Sometimes they're in there because they're old and archaic. Sometimes they're examples of bad law or bad lawyering. So there's just kind of like a mixture of different types of cases. And you'll be expected to extract the law from the cases and apply that law on your exams. So in this class, we're going to teach you how to speed read cases and get through those cases so that you can prepare for class adequately, but so that you're not spending all of your time reading and briefing cases. We will also teach you how to case brief and how to book brief so that you can be super efficient when you prepare for class every day and so that you can still keep your eye on the final exam, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Next difference is that professors use the Socratic method to teach. So in undergrad, you might have been used to a professor getting up and lecturing and telling you what you need to know. In law school, typically, professors will call on someone to answer questions. So they'll pick a student at random or they'll have a volunteer. But either way, you can expect to sometimes be put on the spot in law school and have to answer questions in front of your peers. The good news is that answering questions in front of your peers, whether you do good or bad, honestly, your final grade is not generally affected by it. And secondly, most people are not paying attention to how you perform when you're on call. Instead, most students are worried about themselves, so they're not really focusing on how others perform on call, even though it can be kind of daunting. In this law school prep course, we're going to teach you what to expect from the Socratic method. We'll teach you how to prepare for class so that you can answer questions on call. We'll give you examples. We'll show you the types of things you can expect when you're in class, and we'll prepare you for that on-call experience. Next, exams are difficult. For most of your core classes, so all the substantive law school classes besides legal writing, usually your final exam will determine 100% of your final grade. So this is different than undergrad, where you might have had feedback all throughout the semester, graded assignments or quizzes or essays or exams. In law school, you just have that one exam at the end. All right, so that's a lot of pressure, and that one exam determines everything. So basically, your whole class ranking is just determined by a few days of final exams at the very end of the semester. That obviously causes a lot of anxiety for students, but in this class, we're going to teach you how to focus on exams literally from day one of law school. We'll teach you how to outline, how to learn your outlines, how to use IRAC, which is the strategy that you want to use on exams, how to practice taking law school exams, so that by the time you get to your final exam, You already know the strategy. You've had plenty of time to practice it over and over again on practice exams. You know the law. You will feel confident going both into that exam and out of that exam. That is our goal for you in this course. And in this course, not only will we teach you all of those skills on outlining, learning your outlines, taking practice exams, and that strategy IRAC that you want to use, but you'll also have the opportunity to practice those skills because we're going to give you exams and we'll give you the opportunity to actually take those exams and see what it's like. Note that a lot of law school exams are also different in substance. So for example, it's not just fill in the blank or multiple choice or something like that. It doesn't just test memorization. Instead, it tests application. So instead of like a straightforward exam, most law school exams will be a fact pattern or a story, and you'll have to read that story, pick out all the issues, state the rule for each issue, apply the law, conclude. So it's kind of a different skill set than you might have ever used in undergrad. So we'll teach you exactly how to use that strategy. It's called the IRAC method in this course. Next, in law school, not a lot of students receive A's. Most students get B's and C's their first year of law school. And this can be kind of shocking to law students because a lot of students who are in law school were high performers in undergrad. They're used to receiving A's. They're used to doing well. So it can be surprising to receive a B or even a C or lower in law school. In this class, we're going to teach you how to still get those A's in law school. Getting A's opens you up to the most possible opportunities, including law review, competitive internships, clerkships, big law jobs. Getting A's is the number one way to maximize your opportunities. But we'll also teach you other skills. Even if you don't get all A's, you can still network and use other skills to get great opportunities and great jobs for yourself post-law school. Law school is a lot of work. You have a lot of cases to read. You'll have outlines to make, exams to practice, all kinds of things, legal writing assignments, a lot of things that will be filling up your schedule. And some students feel overwhelmed by that. They don't know where to begin. They don't know how to fit everything in. So we're going to teach you how to speed through some of those things like case reading. We'll tell you to omit some things like case briefing. And we're going to tell you exactly how to create a schedule so that you're still focused, you're still efficient, but you still have time for a life. When I was in law school, I graduated as the #1 student, but I took every single Sunday off. And yes, I worked hard in law school. I worked very hard, but I focused on working efficiently rather than spending every waking minute focusing on law school. So we're going to teach you that efficient approach that worked for me and so many of our students here at JD Advising.